Today I'm going to be reviewing and comparing for you NARS Sheer Glow and NARS Sheer Matte foundations. I wear both in the color Fiji. It's a touch too light for me because I feel like it doesn't have enough of a yellow undertone, and I'm actually pink, so I like to have a yellow-based foundation to neutralize the redness and hyperpigmentation on my cheeks, but I feel that these have a more neutral base. And also, just a note for all of those of you out there, NARS Sheer Glow and Sheer Matte are not sheer foundations, as in thin or like a tinted moisturizer sheer. The word sheer is used as an adjective to describe the finish of the foundation. So by sheer glow, it means the utter quality of a glow. So it's a good thing for you to keep in mind that the word sheer is not referring to the actual coverage of the foundation, it's referring to the quality of the glow and the matte. Don't be fooled by everyone else on YouTube saying that it's sheer. I feel that's an unwise adjective to use for a foundation on the part of NARS's marketing team, but at least now you know that sheer does not refer to the coverage. I'm going to start with Sheer Glow because that's the one I purchased first. So the NARS website describes this as a satin finish foundation, which is true, but the satin finish wears down throughout the day, and if you have dry combination skin like me, you will have a nice slight glow. The Sheer Matte, on the other hand, is supposed to have a soft matte finish, similar to Chanel's Matte Lumiere. This is not as matte as I expected. It was much too satin like the Sheer Glow. These foundations are both $42, and the difference between the two is that the Sheer Glow comes in a glass bottle like this, so the foundation inside is more transparent, whereas the matte comes in a frosted glass bottle, much like the Chanel Matte Lumiere and the Dior Forever foundations. I've tested both under several products. I've used my DDF Wrinkle Resist Plus Pore Minimizer Moisturizer. I've also used my new Carez Anti-Aging Anti-Wrinkle Oil Treatment. And I've also used it under my Hourglass Mineral Primer, but I don't have it with me at the moment. But the powder that I've been using with both of these foundations consistently has been my Shiseido SPF Powder Foundation. And the reason is because neither of these foundations have any SPF. My daily wear foundation is Dior Forever, which has an SPF of 25, and that's definitely appropriate for most occasions as long as you're not too exposed to the sun. But without any SPF, you increase your chances of premature aging and sun damage. This is absolutely one of my favorite powder foundations. It also helps to keep the oil at bay. Next, I'm going to show you a brief demonstration of how I used the foundations and what I did to apply them. I was told to apply the Sheer Matte with my fingers because it is harder to work with since it is an oil-free formula. It is much less forgiving, so you have to work quickly. The Sheer Glow, however, seems to work best with a brush because the formula has a better finish when you don't use your fingers. I'm going to start with Sheer Glow and apply this to one half of my face. And what I like to do is not stipple the brush on here, but I like to pick up the foundation and apply it to the areas of my face where I need the foundation the most. Now I'm going to take my MAC 187 SE and stipple it all over my face. As you can see, the side of my face is much more evened out and smooth. It feels smooth to the touch, and that's why a lot of people describe it as a satin finish. Now this is Sheer Matte, and you definitely want to shake this bottle upside down or else you'll never get the foundation out. Even when you do this trick, it still doesn't come out as smoothly as Sheer Glow. It takes a little bit more coaxing than would Sheer Glow, which comes right out of the bottle. Still completely doable though. You definitely have to work a little bit more quickly with this foundation than you would Sheer Glow. Since it is oil-free, it tends to dry faster. Okay, and there you have it. I applied equal amounts of foundation to each side of my face. This is the matte, and this is the glow. As you can see, initially it looks almost identical. Most people, however, say that the matte is slightly darker than the Sheer Glow, but in my experience, I have found that they are both identical. And as most of you know, I never do this, but I'm not going to wear powder today, just so you could see the finished results of the foundation at the end of the day. Most people have questions about how this foundation wears without powder because of its satin finish, so I feel that should be addressed in this review. I will see you guys in a few hours. Okay, I've had the foundation on for a few hours. This is the Sheer Glow, and this side is the Sheer Matte. And in case some of you are curious, I'm wearing Kerez's oil control treatment. And because in the summer I tend to sweat more and my skin is more oily, I use this as my moisturizer. As you can see, they look relatively similar. If anything, the Sheer Matte side has slightly more oil production around the nose than does the Sheer Glow side. So basically what it comes down to is a simple preference. Do you want an oil-free foundation or not? Because in the end, I feel that the Sheer Glow is a better foundation. Now I'm going to apply powder, the rest of my makeup, and I'll be back. So the best part about these NARS foundations is that they're both so silky smooth and lightweight on the skin. They just make the skin look beautiful and healthy, and I was really surprised because I was not expecting much from NARS foundation. I'm not a huge NARS fan. I feel like their products are highly overrated, but my twin sister, loves NARS, so I figured, I would give it a shot. And I've truly come to love NARS Sheer Glow. I feel as though this will become a staple in my collection. You don't have to use too much at all to cover the entire face, but like I showed you in my demonstration, you should always shake both foundations upside down. Because there's no pump, you have to use the force of gravity to get the foundation out. See, I'm holding it upside down and the foundation doesn't drip, and I have to tap it against the back of my hand to get it out. Whereas with Sheer Glow, if I tip it upside down, the foundation will come out immediately. It's not a necessarily difficult foundation to work with. It spreads almost just as well as the Sheer Glow. It's just that because of its fast drying properties, you do have to work more quickly, and that's why using your fingers is more beneficial than would be using a brush. The Sheer Glow was surprisingly less glowy than I expected. It smooths out your imperfections so well. Both of these are excellent for that. I feel that these two are some of the more potent foundations out there for those who have skin imperfections. The Sheer Glow is the way to go. I know that sounds a little corny, but the Sheer Matte isn't really worth the money, I think, because as you could tell, I actually had more oil production on the matte side than I did on the side of my nose where I had the glow. I feel that if you're going to pick one and that you could only buy one, you would be better off with the NARS Sheer Glow, unless you are looking specifically for an oil-free foundation, because the finish of these is relatively the same. This is advertised as a soft matte and this is advertised as a satin, but in the end both are satins. And that's why I was a little disappointed by the Sheer Matte. I expected more matte coverage. However, the Sheer Glow feels like an actual satin foundation. As a rule of thumb, you should always avoid touching your face because there's so much bacteria on your hands. When I was wearing this foundation for the first time, I was so amazed by how smooth my skin felt. I kept touching my face, even though I was telling myself every time I laid my fingers on my cheek that I was going to get acne, It's like a self-warning thing. And like I said, the only downside of this foundation is that it doesn't come with a pump, but this doesn't expire for 24 months, so, you could work with it for 2 years. And that's really impressive to me. But as always, if you have any further questions, feel free to let me know. I know some of you might ask me what makeup I'm wearing. And I am wearing MAC's newest Grease Paint in Dirty with Tempting in my crease. So I hope you enjoyed this review and comparison. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you soon.